Hello action figure fans, this is HammerTron here with a new action figure review for you. This time I am reviewing the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Black Ranger. This action figure is made by Hasbro. This was released in 2020. I bought it in 2020, so I'm just now getting around to opening this up. It comes in a nice window box where we can see the action figure and the accessories that it comes with. Nice design here of the Black Ranger. Here's the top of the package. There's the bottom with some manufacturing information. Here is one side of the package with the Black Ranger on the side there. And what I like about this package design is the face of the Black Ranger here wraps around to the other side. So pretty nice. And here is the back with a picture of the Black Ranger, some manufacturing information down here. And what is very odd is that there's no cross-sell showing the other action figures that were released in this particular wave of Power Rangers Lightning Collection. So this is part of wave 6. So I will open this up and review the action figure in just a moment. Here are the accessories we get with the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger. We get a pair of fisted hands. So probably the same hands that we've seen with all the other action figures, reusing the parts. So little sculpted details. No real paint. Long thin pegs. I'm afraid of these long thin pegs to put in the wrist. I'm just afraid they're going to snap if I try to pull it out or push it in the wrong way. But the hinges are working. We also get, I think, some kind of dagger here. Nicely sculpted and painted. A little bit pliable at the thin end here. And I think this is the handle here. So we just put that in one of the gripping hands. Looks like we get a blaster. Nicely sculpted and painted. It's a nice weapon for the Black Ranger. We have his main weapon. I don't know if there's a specific name for this. I have watched the series up to about halfway through In Space, so I don't remember all the details, but looks kind of like an entertaining show. So this can be some kind of rifle. We have a grip here with a trigger, and we can blast out this end here. This can also be used as an axe, where we put this part of the handle in the gripping hand, and he has an axe blade. So very interesting weapon. And here we have a blast effect. So translucent plastic here, very pliable at this end here, and a big ball here. Now this part here just feels kind of sticky as I touch it. Now this has been in the package for about 5 years, so whatever kind of plastic Hasbro used, maybe it's degrading or something, because this part just feels kind of sticky. And this blast effect plugs into the weapon here. So looks pretty nice. Although I think over time, if we keep it posed this way, this pliable part will droop down with gravity pulling it down. But it looks pretty nice. And then here is the human head. I think this human head is for the second Black Ranger in the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger series. So looks okay. And we can just pull it off or plug it on the body after we pull off the helmeted head. So nice set of accessories for the Black Ranger. Here is the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger out of the package. Let's see how tall this action figure is. According to the tape measure, a little more than 6 inches tall, maybe 6 1/8 inches tall, or about 15.5 centimeters tall. So nicely sized action figure. And if we look at the details here, I've only watched the show within the last few years, so I'm not a very big fan, although I do like the action figures, so I can't tell how accurate it is, but looks like it's pretty good. I like the helmet. This is the it's either the Mammoth or Mastodon. I can't quite remember which one this one is supposed to be, but nicely detailed there on the helmet, and a little bit of detail on the belt there, little holster on the belt. The belt seems to be glued into place, and the rest of it looks pretty plain. I think it's a lot of reuse of all the other bodies, so not too bad. Peg holes in the heels there. Not a lot of details on the back here. If we look at the gripping hands, the fingers seem to be curled in quite a bit, pretty tightly. I don't know if it was always like this, if it started out this way, or if the plastic is kind of shrinking or shriveling over time, because this has been in the package for about 5 years at this point. So I've noticed with the gripping hands of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection action figures that I've been opening recently, like in 2025, all the hands have been very tightly curled up, so it's pretty hard to put the weapons in there. But it looks pretty nice. Now, there are a few problems that I've been having with this particular action figure. I don't know if I'm just having bad luck with an action figure with some problems, or if there's a problem with the plastic degrading over time. Now, this was in 2020. This was a little bit before Hasbro started having some major quality control issues, or maybe this is the beginning of their quality control issues, and we're seeing it now after a few years, or if the plastic is just degrading over time, which is a terrible shame. But let's take a look at the articulation here. With the head, you can look up that far and look down that far, turn side to side, a little bit of head tilting. At the shoulders, there are butterfly joints here. If we look here, we do see the cut in the body for the butterfly joint, but I just can't get the butterfly joints to move at all. So normally there would be some butterfly joints, but they just don't move at all. That's a shame. But at the shoulders, you can move up this far. This shoulder is especially loose right out of the package, so I don't know if it's bad luck with the action figure or if their plastic is degrading. Let the shoulders move. Goes around in a circle. That's working. We have bicep cuts, and that is working. And this side is working. Very nice. We have double jointed elbows. So this side is working. That's pretty nice there. Although this lower joint was a bit stiffer at first, but it's loosening up a bit now. And this side, double jointed elbow. The upper joint is working, but the lower joint is not working. I don't want to push too hard, so that joint seems to be stuck there. That's a shame. And at the wrist, we can twist the wrist on both sides. That is working. And there should be a hinge. And yep, that is working there a little bit. All right, that side is working. And this side is working. We have a diaphragm cut here. You can move forward and back, go side to side, so the diaphragm cut is working. There should be an abdomen crunch here, and that's very stiff. I can get it to wiggle, but it's just not really moving. So those are generally kind of stuck. Now I don't know if it's the plastic getting stuck or if it's just not a very well made action figure. So you can crunch forward at the diaphragm cut that far and go back. That's the limit of his range. There is no waist twist there. At the hips, you can do the splits just that far. Probably should be a little farther, but that's about as far as this action figure gets. And you can kick forward that far and back just a little bit, kick forward that far and back just a little bit. So not very much range at the hips. There's an upper thigh twist, and that is working, and this side is working. We have double jointed knees, and that side, it's about as far as I can get there, and about as far as I can get there. And I think I should be able to get a little bit more, but the lower knee joint on both sides is pretty stiff, not working very well. But this upper knee joint is working pretty nicely, so at least we get some range there. We have a boot cut. This side is working pretty smoothly, and this side is not really working. I can jiggle it, but I'm afraid if I try twisting too much, I think the peg from the leg into the boot, if that's how it's constructed, I think that's getting stuck in there, and if I keep twisting, I'll eventually break it off. So I don't want to keep twisting, and that's a shame. At the ankles, you can get down to the tippy toes. So those are pretty loose. And you can go forward that far, not very far. And we have ankle pivot, that is working there. And this one is working, so pretty nice. So the action figure looks pretty nice. Standard reuse for Power Rangers action figure, so not a problem. At least the helmets are different for each character. But there's a lot of problems with the joints on this action figure, and it's a pretty warm day. So maybe I need a hair dryer or something to try to warm up the joints to get them loosen up a bit. Like the butterfly joints, the lower elbow joint there, the boot cut there. So either I just had bad luck, or this was the beginning of a problem with the Hasbro action figures as far back as 2020. Here is the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger next to a pair of 4-inch action figures. On the right is an adventurer from an Animal Planet set I reviewed a while ago. On the left is the Fortnite Jonesy action figure by Jazzwares. Here is the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger next to a 6-inch scale action figure on the left. The Action Force Condor action figure by Valiverse. That one's about 6.5 inches tall. And a 7-inch scale action figure on the right. The Masters of the Universe Masterverse He-Man action figure by Mattel. And this Black Ranger fits in well in either scale, or if we consider the 7-inch scale to be a giant size scale, it fits in pretty well with either scale. Here is the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger with the original 5 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Looks like a nice team there. Here is the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger with the rest of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, including the White Ranger. I have not reviewed the Green Ranger yet, so he's not available for this team photo shoot. This Mighty Morphin Black Ranger action figure is not really okay. I like the way the action figure looks, that's fine, but the quality of this particular action figure is just not very good, especially compared to some of the other Mighty Morphin Power Rangers action figures. Their problems are with the joints, Actually, that's the biggest problem. The joints and the quality of the plastic, I think, is declining. Now, with the weapon holding hands, the fingers have curled in, but it's warm enough where I can wedge some of these handles in and push the fingers out in order for it to grip the weapon. So at least that works. This weapon is really heavy, so over time this will just droop down. But it was pretty hard to get the hand wedged around this handle part, and I think it'll be really difficult to get it wedged around the handle in order to use this as an axe. So I'm a little disappointed with the hands always curling in. Now it's warm enough where I can wedge it open, but in the winter time or when it's cold, I'd be more nervous about doing that. You'd probably want to use a hair dryer to warm up the plastic so it's more pliable, otherwise it'll snap. But the biggest problems are the joints with the action figure. The butterfly joints don't work at all on this Black Ranger, and also this boot twist doesn't really work. If I keep twisting, I think it'll snap off. And the elbow joints, this one didn't really bend, and also the lower knee joints didn't work. But the butterfly joints don't work on this one at all. But we do have other action figures that use the identical mold, and the butterfly joints do work. Look at that. That one will actually work on this one, you know, forward and backwards. So the butterfly joints are meant to actually work, and this one is working nicely. But this one just doesn't move at all on either side. It might jiggle, so maybe I can use a hairdryer to make it more pliable, but I shouldn't have to. Right out of the package it should be working because the joint is there. So the appearance of the action figure is fine. It's nice to have a complete team, but the quality of this particular one, now maybe I just had bad luck and this one didn't work. Maybe most of the other Mighty Morphin Black Ranger action figures are just fine, but personally I'm disappointed with this one. So thank you for watching my review video. Remember to like the video, leave a comment, let me know what your experiences are with this action figure, and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with my future reviews and commentaries. I'll see you next time, action figure fans.